Greco national coach Matt Lindland after day 2 of Greco competition. Matt, your thoughts overall on the tournament?
Overall on the tournament, I think we have, three super talented athletes that just showed they just proved, a cliche that talent alone won't get it done. You have to have hard work and discipline. You have to have a good character. You have to have all the intangibles that go along with what it takes to be a champion. Talent alone will not get it done. They're incredible artists, but their art's never going to be able to shine without understanding grit and how to stay disciplined, how to stay structured. They've been guided. They choose to make certain decisions, and their results showed what kind of choices and decisions they've made leading up to this point.
What's missing?
Leadership. We got guys like Dalton Roberts that gave it everything he had. Doesn't have near the talent of some of our other athletes, but it's going to take leadership within the program. These guys got to hold one another accountable when they see the guys that are making the wrong choices. They either go along with it or they're complicit in what they're seeing. And we don't have any strong leaders like we did when Andy Biesick was around as an athlete. We don't have that kind of leadership right now. We have incredibly talented young men that don't want to do the right thing.
You got a couple wins today. What are some positives that you saw in those?
Well, the positives is the fact that Dalton Roberts, gave everything he had with what he's got. He's got, a ton of character, a ton of discipline, work, grit, and when he develops the skills, his talent will surpass any of these talented athletes that stepped out there because of his work and his discipline. So the bright side is that we do have guys like Dalton in our program, and they're still developing as athletes and as wrestlers. And we moved Andy up there to help expedite that process and accelerate that. And we're seeing, we saw that Andy's really raised the level of somebody like Dalton just from a year ago when he was competing at the Junior World. So, we're excited about those things, and we have a lot of those kind of athletes in our program. But some of our bright stars, that are, the people that the media wants to cover and talk about, aren't doing the right things off the mat and outside of the competition that affects them in competition, and so that's where we're at.
What can you do to cultivate that leadership between now and next year?
Well, we're always doing those things. I could give you example after example of things we do in our program. We've implemented new policies, but it doesn't matter if guys don't want to follow them. We've taken guys, on our excursion like we did up to Mexico to, show that we get our value more than just being athletes. We get our value by giving back and caring about other human beings and treating everybody equally and with dignity and respect. But we don't see that. We don't see that played out, and so that's disappointing. So I don't know what that answer is right at this moment, but there's some people that might not be with our program any longer. That's certainly one thing we can do. So we can talk about those things. I think there's a lot of things to figure out, and you're asking me, right at the moment that I just, watched our last guy go down, had any chance in the repechage even. So I think there's a lot to think about, but there's, I don't think it's not limiting to just removing people entirely, from our program. I think that's probably some of the steps that got to take place because, the behaviors, the actions aren't changing, and they're not going to. So we got to cut bait and move on.
Is that surprising to you, Matt, that there isn't a complete buy-in when you invest this much time into reaching these goals?
Yeah, it's surprising. I don't understand it, but I never had I was never as good as these guys are now. When I was winning medals at the Worlds and Olympics, I never had that kind of talent. So I don't know. I didn't grow up that way. I learned that you worked hard, you had structure, you had discipline first, and the talent develops. And maybe it's hard when you come in and everybody's told you how great you are and how wonderful you are, and that you can have success without it. I mean, it's the difference between, I think Carol DeWitt talks about a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, and our listeners could look at that a little more and really understand what I'm talking about. But if you have a lot of talent, you don't think that you can improve by discipline and structure and hard work, and but you have to change your mindset. You have to have that growth mindset that says, I can always improve, I can always get better. And maybe you can just get better in one area that'll carry over. I mean, your wrestling life is not separate from your life off the mats. You have to be congruent in your lifestyles. You have to be disciplined in every area of your life, and everything's got to work together. This is a really hard sport to do, especially at this level. And if you're not doing everything right, it's going to be hard for your to shine at this level. And I think we just saw it. I saw what happened, and it is what it is. We got to fix it, or like I said, we got to move on and find some new athletes that want to develop that way and want to work hard and do the right things off the mat, on the mat.
How would you, Junior Worlds and Cadet Worlds?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of bright, shining moments, and for me, it's frustrating to see some of our best talent leave us and go to the college systems. And if I could keep a guy like Colton Schultz in our program somehow, some way, help him get his degree, continue wrestling Greco-Roman with us instead of going into a folk style system. But that's just part of our culture, and if that's what he wants to do, I'm going to support that as well. But I'm also going to do everything I can to keep him in our program. Because somebody like Colton can be a leader. He is a leader. He's a 16-year-old man that already understands what it takes to work hard, sacrifice, and live a disciplined life with character and certain values. He has values in his life that he abides by. He knows right and wrong, and he chooses the right actions over the wrong actions. And I mean, I need guys like that in my program. We got guys like that here, Alec Mossing, but he's wrestling in the folk style system. Most of his time spent there. Yeah, we're still fortunate. We have Alex in Colorado Springs, so we have access to him a little more often than we do some of our other athletes. But he's still, that's his priority. That's who's paying for his college. That's where he's getting his, his degree. And but yeah, he's also becoming a leader. He's going to graduate as an officer. So when he matriculates into our program full time, we're going to start having some of these built-in leaders, and we have those guys in the Marines. We have Marine officers that are really great leaders in our program. So I don't want you to think that I don't have great leaders in our program, but they need to step up and actually lead and handle things, when they see guys are doing the wrong things. They gotta take charge. The coaches can only say so much, do so much, and then pretty soon the athletes, they get tired of hearing it. They haven't changed their behaviors either, so we're going to keep saying it, but they need to hear it in other voices too. Because, we're playing a tug of war with athletes. Culture's pulling them in one direction, and you've got a few coaches that are saying, hey, that's not going to get you to your goals, and we're trying to pull the other way, and right now we're losing that battle. Culture's winning. We're losing the battle. It says you can do this and that and the other thing and still have success because you're so talented. And you have a few people that are saying, well, I think you should, walk a little straighter line. Maybe you should, practice some of the humilities and some of the fruits of the spirit. And we're losing that battle right now. And because we don't have enough people on our side of the rope. And that's what I'm talking about when I say we need more leaders. We need more people within our program that aren't just coaches, that are saying the same types of things, that are pulling the same direction that we want to go.
Does something like today help you win that battle?
It's pretty apparent. It was pretty obvious to anybody that saw the way our athletes competed out here. Like I said, aside from Dalton, that kid gave it everything he had to the last minute of that match. But he's not the most talented guy out of the four athletes that competed today. I've seen Alex Sancho do the right things, and I've seen him have tremendous results in multiple international competitions. Coming home with lots of hardware. He had a hard weight cut. That's part of the deal. You don't have hard weight cuts because you do things right leading up to this. That's just, there's no excuses, and we need to stop making excuses for our athletes and saying, well, they were up a weight class. Why were they up a weight class? Because they weren't disciplined to be at the proper weight class? I mean, is that part of the problem? Or was it just they were at the wrong weight class and we're gonna give them a pass because they were weights above where they should be? And I don't know if maybe if they want to go into that weight, get stronger, get in the weight room more, or be disciplined and control your weight. Quit eating Taco Bells and KFC and pizzas. I mean, those types of things, they matter. All those little details matter, and when you're not doing those things, you're going to get these kind of results. So it's unfortunate for our program because we are working hard, we are putting the time in, and I just got to evaluate if we're putting the time and resources into the right athletes, and that's where I'm at right now.